In the East Bay, educators are striking. We'll see which school district might be in trouble.
A simple 30-second recording of your voice is all the scammer needs to input into an AI generator and clone your voice into saying whatever they want. I'll have more to that story coming up next.
The temperature is rising, and so are the risks associated with leaving your child or pet unattended in a vehicle. I'm Carson Wells, and coming up, I'll tell you those dangers and how you can avoid them.
And find out ways San Jose is trying to get people out of their cars and onto their bicycles. Is a bike superhighway the answer to all those stories and more this week on Update News.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Angel Santiago.
And I'm Alejandra Vaca Sotelo. We begin in the East Bay, where Oakland teachers are taking their fight for better pay and working conditions to the streets. Hundreds are out on the picket lines. This morning, after negotiations between the teachers' union and the Oakland School District stalled, the negotiations have been going on for weeks. Reporter Levern Johnson has that story.
Hundreds are out on the picket lines this morning after negotiations between the teachers' union and the Oakland School District stalled. The negotiations have been going on for weeks.
We are the teachers too!
Just days ago, the vice president of the union representing the Oakland teachers accused the Oakland School District of stalling contract negotiations, warning it could lead to thousands of teachers going out on a strike.
The district has failed to bargain in good faith. So today I'm announcing that on May 4th, if we do not have an agreement with the district, we are going to strike over their unfair labor practice.
For nearly 7 months, the union says it's been asking for a new agreement. Their last contract ended in December last year. The California Public Employees Relations Board gave the union the green light to strike if necessary. In response, the superintendent of Oakland Unified School District had this to say.
We believe a strike would be inappropriate and unnecessary. There may come a time when a strike is appropriate, but that time is not now. As we continue to work in good faith toward an agreement, what our students need is stability and continued access to learning.
Parents are worried. If teachers go on strike, how will it impact students? What happens if teachers aren't in the classrooms?
So when there's a strike, those trusted, qualified, learned educators or adults are not available, and the school system itself begins to back up.
I'm here as a parent just to say that unequivocally I stand with the teachers in Oakland. I know that they have been working incredibly hard. I've never seen bargaining like this.
The union is asking for reasonable salaries so they can afford the cost of living in the Bay Area. Right now, Oakland teachers start at around $46,000 to $55,000 a year. I'm Levern Johnson, Update News.
Artificial intelligence has taken phone scams to a frightening new level. Scammers are cloning your voice from social media, voicemail, or even a simple hello when you pick up the phone. Then yet they have set up a ransom phone call to extort money from your family. Reporter Brianna Mathal had the scoop.
It's a phone call that cost one woman's dad hundreds of dollars. A TikToker who calls herself Holla Back Girl uploaded a warning video explaining just how her dad was scammed.
Meanwhile, at 5:15, when my dad is on his way downstairs to order an Uber, he gets a call, and it's my voice screaming that I've been kidnapped and I need help.
Samantha says her dad ended up opening his Western Union account and sending the man $1,000. But once he realized his daughter was okay, he couldn't get his money back. These scammers are becoming very sophisticated in using artificial intelligence for voice cloning. Many people aren't answering their phones to unknown numbers because of how many scams are involving. But what if I told you you shouldn't rely on the caller ID because those could also be fake?
So here's how the system or how this scam actually works. All what the criminal need is a 30-second of your voice somewhere. Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, just 30 seconds. Once they recorded that segment of your voice, there are software that it is run by the AI that will analyze it and learn it.
People who are unaware of this new scam are really shocked.
That's pretty scary. It's really eye-opening to kind of hear about these scams. It's not something that I was aware of before, but it's definitely something I should be more cautious of in the future.
In San Jose, I'm Brianna Mathall, Update News.
The city of Davis is on edge as 3 brutal stabbings near the UC Davis campus rocked the community the last week. They all happened close to campus, as you see the map here. 2 of those stabbings were fatal. The third left a homeless woman wounded in critical condition. Meanwhile, the UC Davis moved all of its classes ending after 6 p.m. to virtual learning to protect students. The police detained a person of interest as we got on air, and we have been learning that he has officially been arrested.
Temperature rises, so does the risk of leaving your child or your pet unattended in a hot car. Sadly, every year around this time, we see these tragedies. Reporter Carson Wells has some tips on how you can prevent disaster.
High temperatures in cars are definitely a concern for us.
Eric Long is the proud father of 2-year-old Cece. For him and other parents, warm weather brings on fun summer activities, but also a higher risk of leaving a child unattended in the car.
Life is busy, just like it is for everyone else. When you're coming and going from the car, you're carrying groceries or baby stuff or all kinds of things. And there's always a possibility that she could be missed.
The U.S. Department of Transportation says about 53% of hot car deaths occur because someone forgot a child in the car. More than half of these deaths are children under the age of 2. 46% of the time a child was forgotten was because the caregiver meant to drop the child off at daycare or preschool. There are ways to help prevent forgetfulness from taking a deadly toll.
Leaving their diaper bag on the front seats as a reminder, maybe tying a ribbon around your keys or something around your car shifter to remind yourself to check the back seat.
One thing that I do personally is I like to put a car seat in the rear passenger side, and I just make a habit of looking back there anytime I'm getting in or getting out of the car.
Children are not the only ones at risk in cars when temperatures rise. Pets should never be left unattended in a vehicle either. The animal rights group PETA says last year 54 pets suffered heat-related deaths in cars. This year to date, 4 have been reported, and the hot season is only beginning.
It's that kind of where it's hot but not crazy hot, that's when we see a lot. So 80 to about 95 degrees is when we'll start to see a lot of them.
This is because in just 10 minutes, the temperature in a vehicle can increase about 20 degrees, and in an hour, 40 degrees.
I know a lot of people think cracking the windows is fine, but realistically you can't crack the window enough to make a difference unless it's going to be wide enough that the pet can actually get out.
In San Jose, I'm Carson Wells, Update News.
Many immigrants come to the U.S. to look for the American dream, but once they get here, their American dreams sometimes can turn into a nightmare. At a rally this week, some of those workers told their stories of their struggles and how sometimes they are victims of abuse. At this Immigrant Memorial Rally, there is a call for action. Migrant workers, their advocates, even politicians are demanding more protections for migrant workers.
It's a time to come together, to share with each other stories of the experiences that workers have in the workplace, and also their triumphs in their various fights and advocacy. So it's both a day of remembrance, commemoration, and also a day to kind of come together and solidify our solidarity.
As I was listening to the advocates and what they're saying, one female worker shared her experience about the nightmare that she faced in the city of Oakland.
Un suceso donde un cliente estaba muy enojado y al aventó una hamburguesa a una de mis compañeras, le pasó por la cabeza. Y después corrió con la manager a que le regresara el dinero. Pero estaba muy enojado, rompió un plexiglass y le cayó a mi compañera y le cortó toda esta parte.
State Senator Dave Cortese is sponsoring a bill designed to protect workers from injuries and workplace violence.
If this bill passes that I authored, SB 553, it'll be illegal for employers to dictate to you as a worker.
That Senate Bill 553 gets a first committee hearing next week.
There's been another casualty in the banking crisis as regulators shut down First Republic Bank this week. This comes just weeks after Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Banks folded. Both banks were popular among tech investors. Those failures highlighted just how vulnerable mid-sized specialty banks can be. First Republic has been on shaky ground ever since. It got a massive cash infusion from larger banks back in March to prevent another collapse. But stocks plummeted this week, and regulators seized control of the bank and sold all of its deposits to JP Morgan Chase Bank. As of now, all of First Republic 84 branches will operate as branches of JP Morgan Chase.
When we come back, the blue light phones on San Jose State are a quick and easy way to contact police when you feel unsafe. But how effective are they really? Find out how you can stay safe on campus.
Are you ready for fire season? As we head into summer, California temperatures will reach triple digits, drying grass, making the state prone to heavy wildfires. I'll share with you some tips on how you can protect yourself and your home.
The last few weeks have been really up and down with the temperatures, so is next week going to be cool or is it going to be hot like we saw this last week? Stick around to find out those forecast temperatures.
At San Jose State, we really do learn by doing. This is my first semester working on our award-winning newspaper, the Spartan Daily. But my whole time here really has been about real-world skill building. Professors like Diane Gurazi continue their work in journalism while bringing that knowledge back to us in the classroom each semester. Then we're on the Spartan Daily, Update News, or the Spear. We get to put all that into practice. We even get to work with cutting-edge tools like our new VR lab, where we get to learn new ways of real storytelling using 3D virtual reality.
Our students have many opportunities to work in newsrooms that function like the ones they will encounter in their professional careers. Here in Update News, for instance, we produce a weekly show that is aired on local access television in San Jose, and we produce video news that is digital first. Students will get experience as producers, anchors, and field reporters.
The Spartan Daily, our award-winning student newspaper, has not missed a scheduled publication date in more than 80 years and remains one of the longest-standing papers of its kind in the Western United States. Through classroom instruction and our newsroom labs, we give our students the tools to succeed and create their own bright futures. Learn by doing. If you're interested in joining our program, visit our website for more information.
San Jose State is an urban campus sitting right in the middle of downtown. Sometimes that leaves students uncomfortable, especially at night. There is a way for students to get university police help, even for an escort across campus. Reporter Madeline Dowds is live on campus with a reminder about a safety service available to you.
With the push of a button, you will be connected to the University Police Department almost immediately. Calls from these blue light phones are reportedly answered with the same urgency as 911 calls. But as the year comes to a close, I asked students if they have actually made a difference.
In the most recent monthly stats available, San Jose State University Police reported some 161 calls for crimes on or near the campus. Everything from a stolen car to vandalism to suspicious persons trespassing. This is an urban campus and it can sometimes leave students feeling uncomfortable.
Since it's an open campus, there's a lot of unwelcome, unknown people on campus.
University police say these blue light phones, scattered across campus, offer students a way to connect to officers immediately. Most emergency blue light phones are activated by simply pressing the button. After 2 to 3 seconds, you're connected with a police dispatcher who can automatically recognize your location from the many points on campus. Some students say there needs to be more reminders that the phones are available.
And I see the effectiveness of it, but at the same time, because there's no really awareness of it, except for the fact that they promote it when you're applying and things like that, I feel like not as many people would use it.
So are these blue light phones as effective as they could be? UPD says they could be used to report an emergency, report suspicious activity, or request a safety escort. Swada Patel has utilized the blue light phones multiple times, most recently when a stranger followed her home from class. She praises the immediate help she received.
They are generally really quick, but they are usually very quick because the department is right here on the campus by the parking. More people should know about it, and they should definitely use this service because it's really helpful.
Regardless of the severity of the situation, the University Police Department encourages students feeling unsafe or uncomfortable to push the button. Live in San Jose, I'm Madeleine Dowds, Update News.
The city of San Jose has had one of the saddest distinctions of being in the top 10 cities when it comes to pedestrian fatals. One of those deaths has happened in the neighborhood. The Vision Zero task force was designed to cut back on one of those numbers. So is it working? Reporter Alexander Romero had that story.
According to San Jose Police, there have been 13 pedestrian traffic deaths so far this year compared to last year, where it was a record-setting of 65 traffic fatalities. The numbers may be better, but the goal is no pedestrian traffic deaths. The Vision Zero panel is designed to make road improvements. The panel says the problem is cause speeding through the streets.
It was somewhere around 60% of the collisions were on streets that were 35 miles per hour. 35 miles per hour in a residential is a death sentence.
Speeding costs come as no surprise to pedestrians, bikers, and skateboarders who have to ride the roads with them. This student needed to jump out of the way to avoid getting hit.
I'm smashing down the street and came right behind me. I looked back and I saw him coming quick, so I had to get out the way. No lines on the street or nothing. It was a two-way street, pretty narrow.
All it takes is a few seconds of distracted driving for an accident to occur. There are scenarios where lighting, height speeds, insufficient lane space, or lack of a sidewalk can be an issue. At a recent San Jose Vision Zero meeting, officials said another problem is poor roads and street design. This scooter rider says they don't feel comfortable riding on their narrow street.
Not all neighborhoods have sidewalks, so sometimes people have to walk on the street, and they're coming around and don't see me, and that's where I've almost gotten hit.
Bold isn't done just yet. Quick build improvements will soon be seen on McKee and Jackson Avenue. If you want to chime in on traffic safety issues, Vision Board next meeting is September. San Jose, I'm Alexandra Romero for Update News.
Last year was a challenging fire season for California. More than 360,000 acres burned across the state. 9 people died in wildfires. Now, as we head into summer, the dry grass puts us at risk again.
Wildfires are almost a certainty in California as the hotter weather approaches. They can be devastating and threaten lives and homes. But there are some things you can do to protect you and your family.
If you live near grassy green areas of the state, remember that once they dry out, you are at risk of wildfires. Firefighters say it is up to you to prepare yourself and your property.
Start by creating a defensible space around your home.
CAL FIRE recommends that we have 100 feet of defensible space around our homes, and that's getting down to bare dirt. Reduces the fire flow in the lower areas that can get up into the trees.
Experts say having a defensible space may be the most effective way to save your home from flames. In 2008, when lightning strikes charred multiple areas of the state, defensible space played a significant role. Those homes without it often did not survive. Power lines can play a big role in wildfires too. In 2021, PG&E implemented a new technology called Enhanced Powerline Safety Settings, or EPSS. It was designed to help prevent wildfires. The company says the program automatically turns off power within a tenth of a second if an object comes in contact with the live power line.
An example of this can be seen on the right-hand side of the screen. A large branch fell onto a power line, and because the power line was protected by EPSS, power was quickly and automatically turned off.
Wildfires are destructive and unpredictable. They can change directions quickly and head into a nearby community. Firefighters say that's why it's so important to have an action plan in case you need to evacuate. Don't wait until you're in the thick of the smoke.
It makes a respiratory drive lower. It has carbon monoxide, right? So you have more carbon monoxide than oxygen in your body. So that creates kind of a feeling in your body that you're altered and you don't make good decisions.
CAL FIRE recommends you pack a grab bag in advance. Include a change of clothing, a first aid kit, a flashlight, a 3-day supply of food and water for you and your pets. Also include an extra set of car keys.
For more information on how to prepare for wildfires, visit readyforwildfire.org.
What's the weather going to be like for next week? Joshua Gilman has your 7-day forecast.
This is Joshua Gilman with your local 7-day forecasts. Starting with the highlights for the next 5 days, there is going to be a weekend shift this weekend. We're going to see definitely a much drastic change compared to last weekend. About a week ago, we saw temperatures in the high 80s and it was sunny and just really toasty. This weekend's actually going to be cloudy and cool, so it definitely is going to be quite the shift. And temperatures are going to be seasonably cooler, nothing too extreme, nothing like frost advisories or freeze warnings, but it definitely is going to be, I'd say, about 10 to 15 degrees below season averages. And next week is looking like a pretty optimal spring week. I got excited. I thought I said spring break for a second, but nope, that's definitely over. It's going to be a nice week next week, though, with fair and sunny conditions. All right, starting the 7-day forecast, Santa Cruz, we do see those cloudy conditions, of course, lingering all weekend, but then the sun is going to pop up next week, and their temperatures are going to be pretty consistent, as well as San Francisco in about the 60s. San Francisco is slightly cooler in the lower 60s, but yeah, we're seeing basically 60, 61 degrees all across the board, and low temperature is going to be also consistent in the upper 40s. Oakland's seeing very similar conditions, with highs in the lower to mid 60s and lows in the upper 40s. And finally here in San Jose, we are going to be seeing a very, very nice week next week. We're seeing sunny conditions all across the board. Stable atmospheric conditions will return next week, so there is not going to be any chance of sporadic rain or even sporadic thunderstorms or hail like we've seen this week. It's going to be a much fairer and calmer next week, so look forward to a nice spring week next week, folks. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your semester, and of course, stay cool during the summer. But for right now, the heat isn't cranking up too bad yet. All right, Joshua Gielman, back to the desk.
And when we come back,
there's a brand new bike path being proposed for the Santa Clara Valley, and officials are hoping it'll have commuters like you shifting gears. I'm Betsy Gebhardt. The story coming up on Update News.
It's been an exciting week in the world of Spartan sports. We'll tell you all about who's headed for the NCAA regionals. And did one of our own just go pro? Stay tuned to find out.
Cyclist, it would be the first of its kind in the Bay Area, a 10-mile bike path along urban streets in Silicon Valley. It would stretch from Santa Clara to East San Jose. The Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority envisions a grand plan that would coax commuters of their cars, would also get San Jose State students to and from campus. But as reporters Betsy Gebhardt tells us, there's still a long road ahead for the so-called bicycle superhighway.
Uh-oh, you're driving along when you encounter bicyclists in front of you. It's stressful enough as a driver, but what if it were you on the bike, unprotected from passing cars? Surveys show fear of being hit is the main reason drivers don't bike more often. With that in mind, the Valley Transportation Authority is designing a bicycle superhighway that would stretch through the heart of the Santa Clara Valley west to east on major streets. As photos from this VTA pop-up event demonstrate, cyclists would be separated and protected from vehicles.
Except for Central Bikeway is we would have kind of a concrete barrier or median.
Some of the barriers would look similar to those near San Jose State along one-way 10th and 11th streets. I wanted to see the bike path for myself, so I biked and drove the 10-mile route. The route goes right past major landmarks like the Berryessa BART station, downtown San Jose, Civic Center, Santa Clara University, and along El Camino Real. It branches off to San Jose State, the Diridon train station, and San Jose Airport. A good part of the roadway in East San Jose is quite broad and could accommodate a concrete barrier and separated path. But another section over Highway 101 is very narrow and would need widening. It's early days, but there are already detractors. One resident is fed up with the current bike path already constructed on 10th Street. He points out bikes are constantly blocked by delivery trucks.
I'm saying that they don't use it now, and I'm saying that they're not going to use it in the future.
The president of the San Jose State Cycling Club likes the concept, but he's ridden most of the route, and
there are definitely portions where the buffer zone is not enough or the buffer zone is just not there entirely.
It's a big and bold plan with an equally bold price tag of $200 million. The project is still in the design stage. In San Jose, Betsy Gebhardt, Update News.
In sports, great news! 2 Spartans teams. First, San Jose State football team just saw one of its own selected in the 4th round of this year's NFL draft. Then the San Jose State women's golf team got an invite to compete in the NCAA Regionals in Athens, Georgia. Reporter Levern Johnson has your sport updates.
Let's begin with football. Former San Jose State football player Viliami Fehoko shocked viewers after getting drafted by the Dallas Cowboys with the 129th pick in the 4th round. This past season, Fehoko finished as the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, leading the conference with 19 tackles for loss. Fehoko finishes his career at San Jose State with 191 total tackles, 46 tackles for loss, 23 sacks, and 14 pass deflections in just 48 games played.
Incredible for everybody involved. I mean, we're so proud of Junior Fehoko and just his journey and choosing to, local kid, choosing to stay home, developing our program.
Although Fehoko was the only Spartan selected in this year's draft, teammate wide receiver Elijah Cooks signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars after playing 1 season in the blue and gold. Cooks led the Spartans in all receiving categories, finishing the season with 1,076 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. The NFL announced it will be releasing its 2023 season schedule on May 11th, so be sure to tune in and check on the Spartans alumni as they continue their journeys at the next level. Now we head over to San Jose State's women's golf, which just received its invite to the NCAA Regionals in Athens, Georgia as the number 2 seed. The University of Georgia will be hosting the tournament from May 8th through the 10th. In 1993, the Spartans finished 3rd in the NCAA championship on this same course, with their most recent visit coming in 2013. The regionals consist of 6 regions, with 12 teams in San Jose State will be up against known schools such as South Carolina, Ole Miss, Ohio State, and Georgia. The other 5 regionals will be played in Pullman, Washington, Westfield, Indianapolis, Raleigh, North Carolina, San Antonio, Texas, and Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
It's been a really fun run with this team. They are fun to be around. They get along well.
The Spartans have 3 national championships, with the most recent in 1992. Last season, the women's golf team made it to the championship round in Scottsdale, Arizona, but came up short. Live scoring for all 3 rounds will be available on GolfStat as the team looks to capture its first title in more than 30 years, starting this May 8th through the 10th at the NCAA Regionals. I'm Levern Johnson with your sports update.
Looking for something to do this weekend? Here's Carson's calendar with some options.
Here's what's coming up this week. On May 6th, the Municipal Rose Garden is hosting a cleanup starting at 8:30 a.m. Help get the Rose Garden ready for Mother's Day. Also on May 6th, Cinco Art Show goes from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Santa Clara Street. There will be artists and food trucks. Finally, on May 7th, there's a free meditation class at the Gold Forest Chan Meditation Center from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's all for this week.
And that is all for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next semester. Don't forget to check us out on our socials at SJSU Update News. Good night.